Welcome to the Department of Fisheries and Marine Science, established in 2006. With 24 faculty members, the department continues to promote excellence in education, research, and sustainable fisheries management. This educational video presentation is prepared by Team Chitra by 17 batch for the course Fish Population Dynamics and Stock Assessment Lab Work, course code 3212. In this video, we will explore two important biological indices used in fisheries science, Gonadosomatic Index and Hepatosomatic Index.
It's the rainy season, which means it's the perfect breeding season for carp. Today we are heading to Port Bazaar to buy some healthy carp broad fish. Let's see what varieties are available. Hopefully we'll pick the best one. So come along with us on this exciting fish buying journey. Let's go!
At 9 a.m., we headed to Sonapur Fish Market to collect gravid fish for the experiment. Unfortunately, we could not find any Cyprinus carpio there. Therefore, we proceeded to Maizdi Pouro Fish Market to continue our search. At Maizdi Pouro Fish Market, we found Cyprinus carpio. We examined the pelvic fins to determine the sex of the fish and gently pressed the abdomen to check for the release of eggs, confirming their reproductive condition. After identifying gravid females, we purchased two specimens weighing 620 grams and 1450 grams.
Can we determine whether a fish has sufficient energy or a reproductive reserve just by looking at its external appearance? The answer is no. To uncover this hidden physiological condition, scientists rely on two biological indications, the Gonadosomatic Index and the Hepatosomatic Index. We'll explore how these indices are estimated and why they play a vital role in population dynamics studies.
Before starting our work, we have to understand what these indices mean. GSI stands for Gonadosomatic Index, which is a quantitative measure of relative gonad weight compared to its total body. Secondly, Hepatosomatic Index or HSI is a quantitative biological indicator that measures the relative size of fish's liver compared to its total body. Like many other fishes in common carp, HSI exhibits an inverse relationship with GSI during reproductive phases, as energy is redirected from liver storage to gonadal development via vitellogenesis. HSI of carp peaks in non-spawning periods while GSI maximizes during spawning periods in March.
Before beginning the experiment, we will follow some laboratory precautions to ensure safety and obtain accurate results. Firstly, we will wear gloves and aprons throughout the experiment. Secondly, all dissecting instruments should be clean and sterilized before using. Thirdly, the specimen should be handled properly to avoid the contamination to the gonads and the livers. Then we will use a calibrated digital machine for accurate weight measurements. And lastly, after completing all the experiment, our lab area and our instruments should be clean and sterilized properly following the laboratory guidelines.
Here is a list of what we used for the determination of GSI and HSI in common form. We used fish sample, Cyprinus carpio, analytical balance, weighing machine, measurement scale, dissection box, and Fisheries.
The experiment began by recording the body weight of fish 1, the relatively larger fish, using a calibrated digital balance. Morphometric measurements including total length, standard length, and fork length were then taken with a measuring board and recorded accurately for subsequent calculations and comparison. After the external measurements were completed, the scales were carefully removed from the abdominal region to facilitate dissection. A ventral incision was made along the midline of the belly using a dissecting scalpel, allowing access to the internal organs. The ovaries were carefully excised and any adhering mucus, connective tissue and fat were gently removed to ensure the accurate weight determination. The clean gonads were then weighed using a precision balance and the recorded values were used to calculate the Gonadosomatic Index or GSI. Similarly, the liver was carefully removed, cleaned to access the connective tissue and weighed to determine the Hepatosomatic Index or HSI. The same experimental procedure was subsequently carried out for fish 2, the relatively smaller fish, Its body weight, morphometric measurements, gonad weight, and liver weight were recorded following the same protocol. The values obtained from both fish were subsequently compared to evaluate the difference in their GSI and HSI. The Gonadosomatic Index or GSI was calculated by dividing the gonad weight by the body weight and multiplying by 100. For fish 1, the GSI was 13.52%. The Hepatosomatic Index or HSI was calculated by dividing the liver weight by the body weight and multiplying by 100. The HSI of fish 1 was 0.14%. Using the same formula, the Gonadosomatic Index of fish 2 was 18.03%, while the Hepatosomatic Index was 0.51%. These graphs compare the Gonadosomatic Index and Hepatosomatic Index of fish 1 and fish 2. The GSI bar graph shows that fish 2 had a higher GSI than fish 1, indicating greater gonadal development. Similarly, the HSI bar graph shows that fish 2 also had a higher HSI, suggesting relatively greater liver development. According to previous studies, the Gonadosomatic Index or GSI begins to increase from March, which represents the pre-spawning phase. During this period, the gonads develop rapidly as the fish prepares for reproduction. The GSI continues to rise and reaches its maximum during July, when the gonads are fully mature or in the ripe stage, indicating peak spawning readiness. In our study, the fish were collected during July and they were found to be in the ripe stage. This explains why we observe relatively high GSI values. Similar seasonal reproductive patterns also have been reported in other studies on cypriniform, where July corresponds to the peak breeding period.
Thank you for being with Team Chitra throughout this video. We hope this demonstration has helped you understand how the Gonadosomatic Index and Hepatosomatic Index are determined and their significance in evaluating the reproductive status and physiological condition of fish. Thank you for watching, and we hope this video was informative and helpful.